Well, I told you so, didn't I? What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gents. Welcome on back to a brand new Blitz News update. And today, we got confirmation that, yes, indeed, Lego The Incredibles video game is in the works and will be coming out later on this year. So those of you that were telling me, dude, you're ridiculous, it's never going to happen. When I made that character showcase video, the amount of tweets that I received telling me, stop false advertising, this is clickbait, you're lying to everybody. Blah, 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 blah. I got like so many tweets. I was like, okay, well, let's just see how it plays out, right? Like, yes, I could be wrong, which then means that my intent was never to be like, hey, I'm maliciously going to lie to you about this game, because the amount of rumors that I hear on a daily basis and how many of them I choose to report on versus how many of them I say, hey, I don't want to really comment on that because I just don't think it's going to happen is astounding. And if I made videos about every single rumor, that would be a lot smarter for the channel because, well, it'd probably get a lot more views. But I try to pick and choose when I hear a certain source or where I hear a certain piece of information from or from whom to then go on ahead and jump to conclusions. Well, either way, the Lego Incredibles video game is coming out later this year. So, of course, if you did not know, we will be getting junior sets, Lego sets, for the Incredibles toy line or the Incredibles 2 movie line. And in those sets, or on those sets, on some of the instructions for the sets that have been now spotted at different locations and different stores throughout, I think it's been the US, and I think some places in Europe has also seen the sets come out a bit early. So, because they're technically not supposed to be on store shelves, but that happens almost all the time. Like winter sets come out early usually, or let's say spring sets will come out around Christmas time. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a pretty common thing to get sets early. Well, nevertheless, with these particular sets, the instructions included a very interesting image, which shows to us Lego The Incredibles. And below that, we see a Lego Games logo. And then in addition to that, we see the indicators that the game will be coming to the PlayStation 4, the PC, the Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. So similarly to many of the current and recent Lego games that have now been kind of jumped to the more modern cycle of consoles, because a lot of people were complaining when that happened. They said like, hey, they've abandoned Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and so on and so forth. But that was a necessary step because, of course, at some point you have to kind of say, hey, we can't design for these older consoles. We need to move on to the newer generation of consoles so that we can make the most optimized gaming experience and take advantage of the power of the consoles. So nevertheless, that is exactly what will be once again happening with the Incredibles. We'll be getting the game on all of the modern platforms of the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, and of course the previously mentioned personal computer, aka the PC, or through Steam. So this is quite exciting, of course, and super duper cool to hear. I am still very hesitant about this game as a whole, just because when I think of Lego games, I think of giant rosters of characters, and I just don't know how they're going to do that with the Incredibles. Maybe it will be a much smaller roster. Maybe it will be something more akin to like the Lego Hobbit game. But even with the Hobbit, I remember that there was a lot of characters in that. Yes, it wasn't quite as crazy as the superhero games where we get like 300 plus characters. But even in that Hobbit game, we still had, I think, a roster of around 120 characters, or maybe it was like right around 100 characters. But either way, it was a pretty stacked roster. Whereas when I made my character showcase video where I was like, hey, what would a character grid look like for an Incredibles game? I was honestly having a really tough time coming up with more than about 25. So I'm really intrigued to see how will this roster come together. At the same time, though, I'm actually really excited because maybe for them to not have to create so many characters, they'll be able to make each character that much more unique with that much more kind of attention into the details of each character being put together. So who knows? It might actually be a good thing in disguise. So with that in mind, ladies and gents, let me know what you think about this announcement. Are you excited? Are you not? Are you going to be picking up the Lego Incredibles game? And, of course, in addition to that, make sure that you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. It's @Blitzwinger. And, of course, let me know what you guys think of the news down in the comment section below.